I think it's gonna affect like a lot of other vape companies, to be honest.
What if they get down to 69%?
Ooh, and then the profits somehow go up by 420%.
We're starting.
Woo.
Ooh, and I got the Fallout 2
The
thumbnail.
peak is at 666.
Are we on?
We are live, I think. Let's see, unsupported resolution. What the fuck does that mean?
Not a good
Welcome
look,
to
my dude.
YouTube.
Fuck YouTube.
You expected? Does that mean it's
So
going?
is this a live stream?
I don't know. Is it live?
It is a live stream.
Could someone check to see if we're live?
Yeah.
I mean, we're 15 seconds in. And
This has
figuring out if
never
it's live or
happened
not.
before.
The cameras aren't going, right?
The cameras are not going.
Are they recording?
They are recording.
We're
Okay.
recording, but they're not up there yet.
Minor inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody call in if we're live. Call our hotline.
First, a brief moment from our sponsors. Shane Company in Cupertino, San Mateo, and Walnut Creek.
That's
Open
not
weekdays
it.
till 8,
That's
Saturday and
definitely-
Sundays till 5, online at shaneco.com.
That's good.
That was actually really impressive.
Are we going?
Thank you.
You should do that.
I've
On the
considered
side.
it. I've considered it. I want to be like a radio show character. Like, remember Wolfman Jack or something like
What?
How? Or like, it's like a Three Dog. Like Three
Oh.
Dog. Yeah.
No.
Something like that.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, we're live. We are live, guys.
Wait,
We are live.
Can they see?
No,
They
they
can't
can't
see
see
anything
us.
unless I got like 2 HDMI things and figured out the cameras. It's a whole thing. The video will be up. At a later date, hopefully this weekend. But we are live. It is November 16th, 2018. This is Talking Smacc, and today we have a very special episode, the Fallout Roundtable. So, which Fallout games have you guys all played? I've played all of them except Tactics and other whatever one.
I played some of 3, a tiny bit of New Vegas, and then 4.
But you're a big Elder Scrolls.
I'm a big Elder Scrolls
Okay,
fan.
cool.
Yeah.
Sergi?
I played a bit of Vegas and a bit of 4. Never really got too into it. Stuck to Elder Scrolls. So.
Tony?
I did, I played Fallout 2, played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 as well. I have not beaten 2 or 4.
Sweet. Jason?
I played a little bit of Fallout 1, beaten Fallout 3, played Fallout New Vegas countless of times, put hundreds of hours into that bitch, and then played half of Fallout 4, said fuck this, decided to play a different one. I decided to go back to New Vegas, and then I tried to play Fallout 4 again and didn't make it a fourth of the way through. Piece of shit. Fallout 76 and not even gonna touch it.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one either. Unless, actually, if someone has it, I'll play it. You know?
Yeah.
It sounds like, I
I
don't know.
feel
it
like we're
sounds
too
like
quick
the
to
thing.
jump the gun on that. I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, we can't like. It's like if multiplayer or if Fallout had its own multiplayer experience, that's what it would be. Like it's definitely lacking in NPCs. It's definitely lacking in stuff to do. It does feel kind of bare, but the fact that you can play like. We've been waiting to play like an Elder Scrolls game, like a Fallout, just any Bethesda game really, like multiplayer. You know, we're playing.
I mean,
more.
they have an
but
online
the
Elder
thing
Scrolls
is-
game. It's just
Well-
no one likes it.
Exactly, and so I think this is like a good step in the right direction, but I don't want it to become the priority.
See, I agree, but I don't think it's like an all online Fallout game. I think it's just like a shitty online game that's Fallout themed. Because all the shit that makes Fallout is absent from the game. Like interesting NPCs, skills. Perk cards look okay, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the problem with doing a game like Elder Scrolls or a game like Fallout Online is that those are really built around the single player experience.
Yeah.
Like those types of games, and like even like when you're doing something like Elder Scrolls, like if you want to play Elder Scrolls with your buddies, you want it to be like you and your like friends on this awesome quest,
Yeah.
slowly going from like a prisoner to becoming the like best guy in the whole fucking map. And when you have thousands, like hundreds of thousands of people playing on one game, it doesn't feel special. It's not that personalized experience. And I think that they know that they can make a lot of money off of this,
Yeah.
especially with like
Think of the microtransactions.
I was gonna say it because it's
Those
yeah.
brain games.
Fuck Mark Joker and Dead.
Michael contractions.
Yeah.
What's your
Microtransactions.
Fuck microaggressions.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Fuck that shit.
The thing about multiplayer is that I feel like whenever they release a multiplayer game, there's always a lot of shit that goes on, like actually trying to balance it later for everyone.
Yeah.
Because there are always going to be players that are going to be out there just to murder everyone they see.
Dude, I got to talk about the balance and like that exact thing in Fallout 76 is bad. But first, I forgot we should introduce everybody.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't introduce anyone.
Okay.
I'm Alex, 5 Stacks from Talking Smacc. Jason, recurring guest.
I am Jason, also known as Xerxes. Yeah.
Okay, good introduction.
I'm Chris. I don't have an alias right now, so just Chris. I'm new to the podcast.
Sergi, no alias as well. Just chilling.
Antonio, I'm back.
And you know what? We're all from different states.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
even
wow.
think about that.
Oh shit.
Or
we are.
country.
Country.
You're from Cali.
Yes.
Tony is from California, Bay Area.
Been
Sergi.
there, but originally from Ukraine.
Ukraine. And when'd you move here?
No, I moved to California about, 8 years ago? I was like 11, 12.
And then
And then-
Austin.
3 years ago?
Okay, cool.
I'm like originally from Washington D.C. and then I moved to Woodinville, Washington State. So
Cool.
that I was about 7.
And you came to Austin for school?
Yeah, I came to Austin just to study.
New Jersey, you know me. Jason.
Memphis, born and raised. I'm in college in Austin, Texas, just because I wanted to go to college in Texas, and I fucked with Austin heavy. So here I am.
Okay, so what I was about to say, so like the balance in the PvP is like, so what I heard is, and I don't know because I haven't played the game, but I've heard this from people who played it. You have to request to PvP someone. So you can't just attack somebody. You have to request to PvP them, and you can attack them, but it does like no damage. It's like a very reduced amount of damage, and it's actually so low that your weapon will break before you ever kill them. That's
So-
how much
If you just like came up and shot somebody like mid game and like
it would do, like 2 HP.
Even if you have like a fucking
Oh.
like plasma cannon or
Yeah,
some shit.
and so the way you respond to the request, if someone attacks you, is to attack them back,
Yeah.
and it does full damage.
This reminds me of Borderlands. Anyone played that before?
Oh
Yeah.
When, like, to initiate a duel, you'd have to, like, hit him, basically.
Yeah, and so basically someone could be attacking you, and you're just tanking it, you're just eating it, and then while they're doing that, you open up your inventory, pick your best weapon, equip your power armor, get all your shit on, and then to respond to the request, you shoot them once in the head and they're dead instantly.
Well, yeah, that may be a case, but have you ever played and then by the end of a quest, for example, you're down to, like, really low health?
Yeah, that's true.
So that little damage that you can do is gonna make the difference between you dying or not at the end of the
But
quest.
what are the odds that if you stumble across someone,
I mean,
True.
They're
odds
gonna
aren't
be-
high, but it is still
yeah, I
a
guess.
possibility.
And-
That's gonna piss people off.
Well, like a system like that makes sense on some level for like certain online RPGs, but this is Fallout. You know, it's a like survival, post-apocalyptic, like
Yeah,
you know,
it should be like some raiders
Yeah.
attacking you to steal your shit.
yeah,
Like,
it's
you just get ambushed.
yeah, you know, like that. If you're trying to give the players that experience, then I do, and there aren't like. So I don't know too much about 76, but there's like no real like NPCs, right?
There's no. The only NPCs in the game are like robots.
Okay, and is there like you know, units like raiders in it that are like humans, or is it?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So yeah, so like what if you want to like rob someone? Like that's kind of dumb, you know? Like you're like
Yeah, you
You're
stick them
trying
up.
well, like you're trying to get into like being like a, you know, hardened post-apocalyptic badass
yeah.
who like doesn't give a fuck, you know, maybe that's because you know they're character games on some level,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, I don't give a fuck, I'll kill anyone if they have stuff I want, you know, like a real like chaotic neutral kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you go to snipe someone, it's like a ping,
Yeah.
like that's no, you should give people that moment. Like
How
that's
the fuck
what
are you gonna
video
rob
games are about.
someone? You stick them up, and then
You're
you
like,
know
yeah,
if you don't
shoot
give me
me.
your shit, I'll do 1 HP to you. I'll kill you.
Force them
Yeah.
to attack you, and
Yeah.
then like
You better accept this request right now. Like,
Have you guys seen the reviews, like the early reviews for Fallout
It looks
76?
pretty bad.
Like the user reviews.
Metascore.
I'm gonna hop
Oh
on
my
Metacritic.
It's
God.
not a
right
good
now.
look, my dude.
It is, yeah,
Not a good look.
Metacritic, bro. It's like last I checked, it was like 2.7.
Oh yeah, it's like going down. By
It's
the
3.2
It's
now.
3.2
Okay.
now, but like
Out of what?
10.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
wish I could pass my class with that grade.
And this is the same developer. Like Bethesda used to get Game of the Year every time they released the game.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Like even Dishonored was like, which was a really short game. Like the only complaint people had about Dishonored, I remember, was that it was a short ass game. But like, especially for a $60 game. But like even like those things, there was so much work put into it that they received huge praise.
Yeah.
Like and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad to see this.
I
to be
know, and I
honest.
heard the world of Fallout 76, there's a lot of attention to detail, and they did put in work to make this, like, beautiful world, but it's fucking empty, because there's no NPCs, and there's no, like, good quests, and you can find other players, but it's rare. I heard from everyone who plays the game that people just pass each other. Almost no one, like, ever works together on quest. No one ever tries to PvP each other, because the shit's broken. It's pointless to PvP someone. You can't take their shit. It's just
You can't even take their shit. If
I
you
don't
do
know.
kill them?
I looked it up. So it was like you or someone asked me like what happens when you die. I think, and I looked it up and it said all you lose is your junk. You don't lose your.
Oh, that's fucking
Well,
stupid.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, since they prioritize it being online, is that whenever they're gonna try and fix it, they're gonna prioritize fixing online aspects, like the whole dueling interaction between other people, not necessarily focusing on the whole game overall, like the story or anything like that.
That's true.
I think who they should have taken from like especially in action RPGs that really did a good job of like mixing like multiplayer and single player well. I think they like not many games have like done this to this degree, but it's like Dark Souls. It's like I mean obviously it's a very different game, but it's still an action RPG. It's still like trying to blend single player and multiplayer, and they do that excellently. So it's like the mechanic of the game is like when you're in human form, anyone that's playing online can invade you, and like they can just come into your world, kill you.
And there's no
just,
little pop up that says, "Do you want to be invaded?"
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's you're getting invaded. It just says you were invaded by a dark spirit, and someone just comes and fucks you up, or you kill them, and you get like a bunch of experience from that. I mean, like
fits Dark Souls.
yeah, I think obviously like it would have to be like utilized in a different way for the game, but I feel like they should have taken from that because that kind of like seamless blend of like single player to multiplayer is like unparalleled by any other action RPG, and like Souls like is becoming like its own genre. So like, I don't know. I think there was something that could have been learned from that as far as that went. But
Can I ask you guys, like, this is a much broader question, but how do you guys feel about, like, the fact that pretty much every single game now has to be, like, online multiplayer in some way?
I don't like it.
It kind of bothers me, because I miss, like, single player and then, like, on the same screen co-op games.
Split screens.
Yeah, like, I don't want all games to be like that, but it kind of sucked. Like, I remember I got Titanfall, and I was excited to play, like, Titanfall versus my brother, and we just couldn't play it, like, the same time.
oh yeah,
And, like, same with, like, Destiny. We couldn't figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't find a good game that you can just play on the same screen. And, like, a lot of these games are, or For Honor or something. Like, that's a game that would be awesome to play with someone else in the room, like, going, like, head-to-head as, like, these, like, medieval knights and all that stuff, and having, like, online, or offline, like, just, like, Mortal Kombating it out. Sorry. But
I think the issue with like that is like just hardware like requirements and stuff like that. That's like so demanding because you're projecting like two images at the same time on like one thing. So like every time it's just gonna like super like limit the gameplay. Like I think like for some single player games it can be pulled off, but like with what people expect, like the current trends in like gaming and stuff now, I think it's going in like a different direction. I don't know. I think like the visual beauty as well as just like the intricacies of like the physics engines, all that stuff, it's just getting harder and harder to run, and so like it would just be way too taxing on computers and consoles and stuff, I think, which I agree with you. I do miss that, like playing Halo 2 campaign or co-op, something like that, yeah. Or like Borderlands co-op is great for that, like the offline, it's a great example of that, but the same time, like I think the industry is going in a different direction.
But just it's like it's weird because if like you want to play a game and communicate with another person while you're like playing it, you have to have like a microphone and like sit there with like
The headset.
yeah.
You gotta have 2 different Xboxes going, like
or something like that. And so like you can't like play a game, have your friend like just backstab you and like get really pissed at them because they're in the same room and like actually like chew them out anymore.
Yeah.
Like now it's just like you're playing, friend like shoots you in the back and you have to like Xbox message them just dick.
Yeah. It'd be that way.
Good point.
And that's like I wish Fallout 76 was like a co-op story fucking Bethesda game with like NPCs and stuff, and like I was just talking about the multiplayer elements of Fallout 76 don't add anything because nobody fucking uses it, because nobody battles, because the system is broken, nobody trades, and nobody does quests together. So basically what you're getting is a shitty Fallout game, a shitty single-player Fallout game, where other people show up every once in a while who don't do anything, and there's no NPCs. There's no one to talk to.
Yeah.
So, like, the most boring part of Fallout is reading the fucking terminals. Like, I almost never read the terminals. And I like reading in video games. Like, I played Pillars of Eternity and shit. I enjoyed it. I played Fallout 2. I like to read. But just the terminal entries are so fucking boring. And that's the whole game. It's just, like, reading about people who died and kind of teasing that there's NPCs there, but there's not.
Yeah.
So like how do they lore-wise, do you guys know how they justify it? Or is it just kind of like...
Fucked it.
The lore is
man.
all fucked. There's like super mutants in the game, and
Does this take place after they were? Like,
It takes
25
place
years
in-
after the bombs drop.
Yeah.
In West Virginia.
So it's like over 100 years. I'm pretty sure it's over 100 years before the events of Fallout 1 and 2.
oh,
Yeah.
what?
and super mutants were created by the Master. So it's just like,
Yeah, like FEV virus was created right before the events of Fallout 1 by the Master, who didn't exist until after the fucking apocalypse, or it wasn't like a key player until after the apocalypse. And then they have super mutants in the game all over the place. On the fucking East Coast, when super mutants were invented on the West Coast, and they have the Brotherhood of Steel, which shouldn't be around yet.
yeah.
And they're also on the East Coast, even though they were like a small group in the West Coast at this time. And they wear the same armor as in Fallout 4, which is like 200 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all so fucking stupid, bro.
Fucking hell.
They don't give a damn about lore. They don't give a fuck about lore. And it's just like, why are you making games for a franchise that clearly you only care about because it makes you a shit ton of money? Because Fallout 4 made Bethesda a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But they don't care for it in the same way that they care about, like, Elder Scrolls. Because this kind of shit with the lore, I mean, I'm not a huge Elder Scrolls fan, but I'm assuming, like, all y'all are. I don't think that Bethesda would fuck the lore up in Elder Scrolls as much as they fucked
Not
the,
as much, no.
Yeah, like, these are, like, blatant, just like lore is fuck. There's no way to fix it. There's no way to retcon that shit in. Like what are you gonna say? Oh well, fucking super mutants existed on the East Coast before the Master even thought of making that, and it's just like,
Welcome to the next game after that.
yeah.
Okay, my theory on that is, okay, it's Fallout calls for a wider audience, I think. Like, fantasy and stuff like that is definitely like not as big of a genre as it used to be. I still think it's huge, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think if you have, like, guns and shit like that,
Yeah.
it becomes more and more accessible, less and less skill-oriented, all that weird, like, you know, the intricacies of, like, an RPG, like, it attracts a wider audience, and then, you know, obviously the money comes in. So
I mean, they're doing that with Elder Scrolls too, though. Like, Skyrim is fucking hardly it's not hardly an RPG, but
yeah.
compared to, like, Oblivion, like, Skyrim has no skills. It has no classes from the beginning. You can't start, like, more proficient in something besides your racial bonus, which is, like, plus 10.
Yeah.
So everyone starts at the exact same. You can use any weapon, no matter your proficiency. You can just use whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, at least in Oblivion and Morrowind, there's classes, so you can set up your character, and you actually have, like, attributes. There's no attributes in Skyrim. There's no strength, there's no willpower,
points.
there's no intelligence.
Yeah.
You just have, like, a shitty perk system.
I really didn't like, even though I liked I like the idea of having perks in an Elder Scrolls game.
Me too.
Just because like it opens like when you first got that decapitation perk in Skyrim.
Yeah.
You remember when you like
Yeah.
that was fucking
Skyrim
badass.
has cool perks. Yeah.
But like I was replaying Oblivion, and I just loved how simple it was. Like it's like, oh, at this level I can do this. At this level I can do this, and like my skill progresses just naturally at each level bump. I also like that. Don't like that they like totally limited weapon classes, and like you have like 4 pieces of armor in Skyrim in a set, whereas you used to have like 8, and then the clothes underneath them and a robe you could put on top of it.
Yeah.
Like in Morrowind, and even in Oblivion, you had helmet, gauntlets, greaves, and cuirass.
Yeah. I think they're making it more easy they're mainstreaming it. They're making it easy for anyone to hop in. Like, because you won't fuck up on your build in Skyrim at the beginning in the character creation, because there is no fucking character creation.
Yeah.
It's just like cosmetic shit and some slight skill stuff.
Well, and like the cool thing about if you play Morrowind or if you play even to some extent Oblivion, like those games were heavily influenced by like Dungeons and Dragons and other like fantasy tabletop games. To the point where if you look at Morrowind, it's pretty similarly structured. Like even like the way you hit, because it's just a chance hit, similar to like a dice roll, and you're just basically every time you level up, you're rolling like % higher dice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they went away from that and made it more like kind of like those like online RPGs, like those like the like cheap ones where it's just like it's simple. And not to say that Skyrim like looks cheap or is like a cheap game like in really any way, because it's still a really well made game.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like you said, it's all about that like sacrificing RPG elements for accessibility.
Yeah.
But that's hard to see when it's something you like love so much.
Exactly. And I think the reason why, and they're doing it with both Elder Scrolls and Fallout, but they didn't make Fallout, so I think they only have 2 franchises, Fallout and Elder Scrolls, that they can put out a game, no matter what it is, people are going to fucking buy it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to fuck up Elder Scrolls, so what's our other option? Oh, it's Fallout. So Fallout is just like this thing they have, this like massive cash cow, where they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And I guess they're too scared to make a new franchise fucking multiplayer game, because no one's gonna play that because they've never made a multiplayer game before, and so it's gonna be bad. Like
even ESO was gonna say, but
it's not even Bethesda Game Studios, and
it was just.
So how can we make this risky ass move and still make money off of it? Oh, we'll attach Fallout to the name of it and it'll sell like crazy.
Yeah, the Fallout kind of seems like a backside project at this point. It's like, it's something we can test on. It's like, we're not going to be working on this anymore. It's not going to be a wonderful game that everyone's looking for. It's kind of like, we can try and add this, see if they like it, maybe we'll add it to other games.
Yeah.
No, it's fucked.
Do you guys think that they might, like what we're seeing right now could be just like essentially like an alpha of like 76, and they're going to actually try and like keep upping it?
I mean, I think they're gonna keep updating it and shit, but like the engine that they're using for one thing is shit. It's the Gamebryo engine, and they've been using the engine.
They haven't changed their engine
so buggy.
since Oblivion. Like it's the same
really?
fucking engine.
Yeah.
The engine for Fallout 3 was just an improved version of the one for Oblivion. I could be wrong about that one, but the rest of them I'm sure. And then the one for Skyrim improved Fallout 3. The one for 4 improved improved Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't made a new engine in like fucking over 10 years.
They've just been slathering a coat of paint on a piece of shit.
But like that question about 76 is, the thing is, Fallout 76, the version that's out today is $60. They released an unfinished game, even if they are going to improve it. This game is out. It's like it's supposed to be a $60 buy, like a $60 value.
Yeah.
And it just
people spend money on it. And chances are, they might improve it, but I feel like they would improve it in terms of DLCs, which you would have to buy.
If it makes money, they will make DLC.
There's
like,
going to be 6.
You want new characters?
Yeah, they're
There's
going
gonna
to
be
make
6.
DLC.
You want new characters in the game? Here, buy it as DLC for this one blacksmith or something like that.
No, they did that with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I know because I got one of them. It was like
I bought all of them.
Yeah.
I bought the season pass. Okay, so here's what happened with the Fallout 4 season pass. So, Fallout 4 created a season pass. They said we're going to make a bunch of DLCs, and it's going to be well over $30 value, I think. Yeah, $30 value. But if you pay $30, you get all of them. No matter what we make, you get all of them. So I was like, oh, okay. And I bought it because I was, like, ready for the Fallout 4 hype. I was so hyped for Fallout 4, like, more so than anything else in my entire life. And I fucking bought the season pass. And then right before they started making DLC, they're like, we're going to change the price of the season pass to $45. So they made it $45. And then they made 6 DLCs, I think. And
yeah, because they had 2 big ones, and then
3 of them were settlement DLCs. 3 of them. One of them was contraptions, where you can make machines for your settlements. One of them was, it was like Fallout Shelter, where you can have a vault and a mini game in the game. And then they had another one.
They had the beast controlling one.
Beast controlling one?
Yeah, this is the one I got. I got it. You could like it was cool. It was dumb, but it was like cool. I kind of just got it because I had extra Microsoft points. But you could like set up something in your shelter that was like a little beacon, and then you could trap like a death claw or
I think
a red
that's
scorpion.
contraptions.
Oh, that was contraptions.
Yeah, and then there's Wasteland Workshop, I think, which just added like assets. And I got all of them, and I literally never played a single one of them because I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck about the fucking settlement feature. I played the other 2. I played Far Harbor and Nuka World, and they were okay. They didn't fix the game by any means.
I liked Far Harbor just because it kind of...
I like the world in Far Harbor, like the map.
Yeah, and I think it sort of did a better job because I played the Railroad in 4. And I was kind of disappointed with the way they like did the whole like tackled the whole like AI human thing. I think Far Harbor kind of like went more into that.
Yeah.
And they had some really interesting things about like how humans indoctrinate each other with ideology. And like that was kind of cool to see like an actual like real gravitating story that wasn't just, oh, my son's lost, I got to go find him. Because that was sorry. But that was kind of just a I don't know. I didn't like the main plot.
Oh, yeah, me neither. It's like what you said earlier where they're story games in a way.
Yeah.
In Fallout New Vegas, you are the courier. You're shot in the head and you want revenge. You can be fucking anybody you want because that could be anyone. You could be a woman. You could be a man. Like you could do fucking any backstory. Yeah. In Fallout 4, you start the game in the house with your wife. You're a family man. You came home, if you're the dude, you came back from the army. I think the woman's like a lawyer or some shit. And it's just like this very clear cut, like you're just this boring motherfucker with a baby. And you're like straight edge family man, and you have a voice, and you have a default like.
See,
and you can't be a character. You can't. And every time you play the game, you're looking for your son. Every time you can't fuck off and do whatever, or else it just doesn't make sense because you're fucking kids. Yeah.
Which isn't like or it's similar to that in that they like had to have like they wanted to do that like similar thing to Mass Effect, like all the dialogue and all that. That's why I liked Fallout 4. But I like the settlement thing too.
Really?
Yeah, because I always had followers, and so it was kind of fun to make like a settlement where I could just have them all and like set it up so that it was just like this like tanky fortress in like the middle of the city. So if I was being like chased by like fucking like one of like the uber mutants, I could just run over to this alleyway and just watch him just drop.
Yeah.
Like I like that kind of building stuff. I get that it's not Fallout, but like...
Well, it's not even that. It's like, I don't mind it. I thought it was cool, you know? It's a cool feature to have in the game. It's just, for one, DLC thing is like, come on. Like, I paid for this shit. I was expecting a fucking Bethesda DLC, like fucking the Fallout 3 DLC or Shimmering Isle or some shit, you know? Like a Bethesda DLC. And I paid fucking however much money for that. But the thing is, the settlements actually detracted from the game because instead of building interesting locations, you just had these blank little workbench spots, and it's like, oh, fuck that, make your own, man. And you got like fucking 50 across the whole map.
There was way too many. There was more than you could, like there was just more than you could ever build on, and yet I definitely get that it was to some extent like a cop out or something.
I feel that. Just wanted the camera to shut off. I'm just gonna hit.
But I mean, Bethesda has released, like, to be fair, I guess they're to like the whole Elder Scrolls movie. Like they've released some pretty shitty DLC. Like I remember the Horse Armor DLC from Oblivion, and that was like, I mean that was like just a fuck you. Like, but then like they also would release things like Shivering Isles, which was like, and in Oblivion they had like a lot of like big DLCs. Like they had Mehrunes Razor, which was just a gigantic dungeon, and it was so much fun to play that one. And they had Knights of the Nine, and then I kind of wish is that they would actually just do more of those.
Yeah.
Just not even if they have these little like pay for things, because I understand that like for a business that didn't used to do multiplayer, it's pretty hard to keep a sustainable it's pretty hard to sustain a business when you release one single player game like every like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Like that's hard. But they kind of have gone to a point where it's like really ununderstandable because they're like re-releasing Skyrim all the time. They put out like Hearthfire, which I was like, I remember when I bought it because I thought that you could do more than just build the same house with different rooms inside. Like I'm like, because Hearthfire is a DLC for Skyrim. And it was like building houses, also adopting children, which is just why.
Yeah.
But
married in the game, right?
you can get married.
I think that. I mean, you can't put sex in the fucking game. So I mean, people want kids. They want to.
No,
I like that part. I think.
I
No, it's just like
it was so poorly like thought out. Like I mean, it was just like there's like all these orphans running around, and also another thing that was kind of fucked up about it was there's like a lot of orphans running around. This is and like you're playing a character that is probably involved in this war.
Mm-hmm.
All of them say that they got like their parents killed in the war, but you can only adopt 2. So the next time you go to any of the cities, there's going to be at least one fucking orphan just standing there being like, "Oh, my parents are dead. Can I have a coin?" Every goddamn time.
Damn.
It's like you just
still give the coin.
You still give the coin. You have like a fucking million.
Yeah.
You're dressed in like full day with like gold chains.
So you like Fallout 4? Did you like the voice protagonist? Did you think that was like you didn't have a problem with it?
No, it was kind of. I didn't like the voice actor, and I didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like that the sarcastic option was sometimes just being like funny, and sometimes you were just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like because I would click sarcastic a lot, and I told you when I played Fallout 4, I pulled all of my points at the beginning into charisma.
Yeah.
Which actually ended up being a great decision because I was playing a very like lawful good character, and I had this like long hair and this beard, and then eventually at a point I just decided I would become Wasteland Jesus. So I was just wandering around like solving everyone's problems. No one would fight me because I could just point a gun at them and they would just stop and stand still.
Yeah.
But like it was annoying that like they didn't actually tell you what you were going to say. They just were like, here's all these options, and then you end up like pissing all these characters off because it's just not something that like you would have done if you knew what you were gonna do.
So here's my problem with the fucking voice protagonist. So Fallout, since 1, 2, 3, it did an okay job, and New Vegas did an amazing job of letting you do whatever you want and approach a quest in like 500 different ways. Depending on your skills, like in New Vegas, your skills literally determined what you could say in dialogue, and they use the dialogue system to give you the ability to do whatever the fuck you wanted. So like every dialogue, you had like all these fucking options, and you can do like you can sneak around, you can backstab, you can use your repair skill to say like I got this, or like your gun skill to say like I can handle myself, or unarmed, or your intelligence, or your charisma, or whatever. And then Fallout 4 has this system where you only have 4 options no matter what. One is yes, one is no, one is sarcastic, and one is asking a question. And pretty much no matter what you say, you get the same response every time.
Yeah.
Like unless you say like no and goodbye, you get the same. You ask a question, you go back to the same loop. Yeah. And you're basically just forced to say yes or sarcasm. And no matter which one you say, if you say sarcasm, they go like, hey, and then they just say what they would have said if you said yes.
Yeah.
And
it's like I said, like there's a lot in there that is kind of it's like the opposite of like it's what we've been talking. It's moving away from being an RPG and more being like, I don't know, kind of like that. But again, like I love games like Mass Effect, so that really wasn't too much of a turnoff. It was just like, I remember what I was really thinking is I'm like, God, I hope they don't do this in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, me too.
Because I could see it with Fallout. I can see it, and maybe it's just because I'm not as attached. But like,
I think it's more plausible for Elder Scrolls, honestly.
No, I would.
I think
because like if you're playing a
for the
fucking,
voice,
like,
yeah, that's
like,
technically it's more implausible because they have to record more shit. But in Skyrim or even Oblivion, there's not many options in the dialogue. Like, there's really not. Like, sometimes you only get one and shit. And pretty much talking to someone is just how you advance in a quest. Like, sometimes you can have different routes, but in Fallout, it's literally like every quest. Like, the dialogue allows you to do whatever the fuck you want. So I can see them. I can honestly see them doing it in Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think they will because
it would ruin immersion.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, that's what it did in Fallout 4.
Yeah. It felt like you were watching a story game.
Yeah, and you're just some douchebag with the same annoying voice, no matter what you look like, no matter what your race or weight or age. Hey, I'm fucking Nick from Fallout, whatever.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. There's a lot you could pick apart in that now that I like start to go back and consider it. But at the time, it really didn't bother me.
Yeah, me neither. Because I was just so hyped. I was like, oh, it's Bethesda.
Yeah,
they're gonna make a great game.
And like, to be fair, they did a lot of good shit in Fallout 4.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I think there's definitely a lot that they did wrong, but they had a lot of like you can play that game for hours and have a really good time. But you're gonna just run into some things after like the 100-hour mark.
Nah, I would say after the first playthrough, if not like.
That was 100 hours for me.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I would say like 30 hours for me at least.
Yeah.
But your thoughts, Jason? What are your thoughts?
Well, I can safely say that after like 5 hours of Fallout 4, I was just like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Not because it's a bad game, because it's a good game, but being such a big Fallout fan, like I was just too disgusted to keep playing it. Like, I knew that if this was, like, literally any other game but Fallout, I would have probably kept playing it. But because it was Fallout and because I knew what it's supposed to be like, it kind of fucked with me because I was just like, I could keep playing this, or I could play New Vegas again, or I could just keep playing BioShock like I was doing before and eventually BioShock went out. And that's actually how I ended up becoming such a huge BioShock fan, is because Fallout 4 was so shit. Like, I actually had a choice when I went to buy Fallout 4 of choosing between The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4.
Great fucking game.
I chose Fallout 4. I made the wrong fucking choice.
Dude,
Witcher 3
Witcher was good. Witcher's what the Elder Scrolls would become, though, if they had, like, that voice recorded stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like Witcher,
I don't think they could pull it off though.
No, I don't think so. But I think it would become like Witcher 1, essentially, just because it'd be. Well, no, because Witcher 1 was the one without Explore. Fuck it.
I feel like this Witcher 3. So Bethesda won Game of the Year with Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and Fallout 3. So, like, every single game they made became Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And then Fallout 4 is the game that stopped that, and Witcher 3 was Game of the Year that year. I'm pretty sure.
No, Fallout 4 won Game of the Year over The Witcher 3, and people were pissed.
Come on.
I don't
serious. Believe that for a second. Because I remember I was like, Fallout Game of the Year 2015. I mean, there's a bunch of different Game of the Year awards. Witcher 3 was
well, shit. I was thinking of
that. That just goes to show, I think that was the moment where I realized that Bethesda is no longer the best Western RPG company, and someone's going to come along and fucking usurp them. And I think CD Projekt Red is about to do that. Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh, yeah. I am so fucking ready for Cyberpunk.
I think they're the new king of Western RPGs.
Yeah. See, problem I have with that though is like I love The Witcher. I think it's the same thing of like not being like the appeal to a Fallout game or an Elder Scrolls game and it's, I guess it doesn't count really for 4, but like generally was that you were whoever the fuck.
Yeah, it's a totally different game.
And
it's totally different. It's not a sandbox, really.
Yeah, and Witcher was kind of not like that, but still, like, going through the whole game of Witcher, like, that was a fucking, like, epic. Like, I felt like I had just read a fucking
The Odyssey.
long ass, like,
I mean,
it was, and like the amount of lore, the amount of detail, the amount of like voice acting as well. Because like every character, every single one is voice acted really
Oh
well.
my goodness, gentlemen. Apologies, my phone's
okay.
been-
No, it's cool.
Yeah, and it's like in Witcher 3, you go to that one city, Novigrad.
Yeah.
And there's like 6,000 fucking NPCs walking the streets. They all have unique dialogue. And then you play like even New Vegas. And it's supposed to be a city, and there's like fucking 100 people in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or like in Skyrim, if you go to Whiterun, there's like 15 NPCs. Like there's just not that many NPCs. It doesn't feel like a city. It doesn't feel like a populated world.
Dude, Diamond City looked like shit.
Diamond City
Oh my God,
was
yeah.
some of the dumbest shit
It was
fucking
awful.
ever.
Dude,
That was Fallout 4, right?
yeah. It
It's
didn't even look populated. Like there were more guards in this goddamn city.
Yeah.
Like by a wide margin.
And there's like 3 quests in the whole city, and they're all shit.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
Novigrad
paint the
is like
fence.
a third of paint the fence.
Goddamn.
Get the white paint for the fence. But like Novigrad is like a third of the entire game, and it's just one city.
Yeah.
Because it actually feels like a fucking city. It's like
Yeah,
districts.
you go back and there's new quests there.
Yeah.
Like that was what was so cool about The Witcher 2 was the Witcher 3, the Witcher 3 also was that there was like I don't know there was just this scale, like this huge scale
Yeah.
of like these maps. And I get that it's kind of different than like an Elder Scrolls game because of the perspective and because like of the way it's like the engine and stuff it runs on. It's much easier for them to do that than it would be to do it like switching between first and third person and having like all the doors available for you to go in and stuff. But it's almost more about the illusion of like it being gigantic because it just has to feel that way. It doesn't actually have to be a giant city, and it doesn't actually have to be that technically difficult. But like they had all these locations. Like you could go like the one quest where you like go into like the nobility and you're wearing a mask,
Yeah.
and like that was like cool. And then you get to see like the really seedy, shitty side of the city, and you get to like get into like bar fights there. And then like even like the quests that should have been kind of like, what was the term you used? Like auto-generated quests. Radiant quests.
Yeah.
Even the ones that felt like Radiant quests, or like that could have been, they always put like a little bit of story in there.
Yeah,
like
I don't think Witcher actually had any Radiant quests. I could be wrong. But
No, I don't think so.
in Fallout 4, is literally like
Preston
a
Garvey.
main feature of
Fuck
the game.
Preston Garvey.
Fuck Preston Garvey.
fuck
That's
Preston
that's why
Garvey.
the settlement system is bad, because it made it so the game or it didn't have to be, but it felt like it had to have fucking random quests, because all these settlements were just so fucking like random. They're just
Yeah.
like small little fucking places with boring NPCs, no interesting characters, no government.
And they get
There's no,
attacked all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's not like interesting factions with like different ideologies.
Yeah.
It's just like dumbass farmers, so you can either protect or kill and take their shit. It's just like,
Personally, I would kill.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? They're fucking
That's so
boring.
much more fun than just
Yeah.
protecting.
The faction. Oh, sorry.
I was just like, y'all were talking about a CD Projekt Red earlier. Did y'all hear about the lawsuit?
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's The Witcher. It was about The Witcher.
Oh,
So
yeah, you told me.
you guys know that The Witcher is actually like a book series,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what CD Projekt Red did to make the Witcher games is that they bought the license to the Witcher, like the Witcher license or whatever. And the person that they bought it from, the guy who wrote the books, they said, hey, we can either pay you a lump sum of cash up front, or you can have royalties on the game.
Oh.
And so, like, you make a percentage of, like, however much we sell. The author chose the upfront lump sum of money because he was thinking, like, oh, it's a fucking video game. It's not going to sell. Because this guy's fucking old as shit. He doesn't realize that
Yeah.
video games
Yeah.
are like $1 billion industry. And so he sees all the success and moolah that The Witcher 3 made, and he's like, I want a piece of the pie. And so now he's suing CD Projekt Red so that he can get a cut of
Well, I
the
mean, he
percentage.
signed up for it.
Yeah, there's a contract and everything. Like,
Yeah, so it's
he
like-
has no case. but he's still trying to sue CD Projekt Red because he wants royalties now.
I mean, they're, at least from everything that the last game implied, I mean, they're done using this series, right?
Nah, I'd assume.
People are saying they're gonna make a Siri game. I don't believe that, but I can see it happening.
I could see them doing that.
Because she has like opportunity for something totally like non-Witcher related.
Yeah.
Because she went into the world of cyberpunk in the.
Yeah, I heard
you
about that.
You think it's the real world?
Oh no, I just know that she can hop it. Like I just did the quest where she jumped in between.
Yeah, she can go in between worlds, and there's this one like Easter egg in the game. She's like, I went to this city, and she basically described cyberpunk.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
I thought when I first heard it, I thought it was the real world. That's why I asked you.
Yeah,
I think it was cyberpunk.
I remember her talking about like the interdimensional travel, and that was like such a cool shift in the game because that was like in like the last third of the game that you figure out about that. But then like there's this whole quest where like you're going through like multiple different dimensions trying to like find. I don't remember what you were trying to find because I played this game a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like there's like you're like hopping through dimensions and there's like totally new different monsters and they're just reskinned other monsters, but they look cool and like different. And like each of these places has their own lore. There's like a like really like sandy place that used to be an ocean.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And then there's like there's all these like there's like a snowy place that you have to like huddle by fire so you don't die. Like,
Oh, that shit's awesome. Yeah, you're Geralt and you're going through the different worlds, and then there's one where you're underwater and you gotta find the portal in the next world fast before you fucking drown.
And I love also just the way that game goes from being like you wandering around wherever to all of a sudden you just step into like a story clip.
Yeah.
But like or a cutscene rather. But it doesn't feel like I mean, sometimes there's this like little loading screen. But it almost feels like instantaneous. Because I think I remember like when you come out of the portal from the underwater one, like there's water that comes out with you.
Yeah.
Like I love that shit. Like how it just like it felt so seamlessly integrating like gameplay and story and like immersion and all that stuff. Like to the point where I didn't even notice that my character's beard had been growing since the start of the game.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
the
yeah,
mechanic?
your
Yeah,
hair and
your
your
beard
beard
grows.
grows, and you can cut it, and then within like a month within game, it'll like come back, and you can get
One
it's
of the
cool.
NPCs pointed it out, and I looked at it, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's cool. Red Dead does that too, or the new Red Dead is
Yeah.
Oh,
doing that.
that's fucking rad. Dude.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature.
Okay. I have a question for y'all. So I guess Fallout. So I think we'll just do Bethesda games. What kind of build do you start off with? What like when you're starting a new one? Let's say you just popped in, you're like, shit, what build am I gonna do? You know, what class are you gonna make? Like, what is your go-to?
For me, if it's a Fallout game, it depends on the Fallout. If it's a good Fallout game, anything besides 4, I go for charisma usually,
Okay.
and always intelligence, because intelligence is broken as fuck in Fallout. But I usually go charisma just so I can explore all the factions and their ideologies and stuff, and explore the different dialogue options, and just try to learn as much as I can about the game world. If it's like an Elder Scrolls game, Sneak is really cool. I like Sneak a lot, and I also like doing like a paladin type, like heavy armor restoration.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Jason.
Well, it depends. I like I said, I don't really play a lot of Elder Scrolls games, but for Fallout, when I played Fallout 3 the first time, I basically just made myself. So like, not very charismatic, slightly above average in the intellect department, and just like basically just made myself. But with New Vegas, the first build that I came up with was like the Mad Bomber, because I like using like the in-game explosives and stuff. So I had like heavy intelligence. I forget what's the stat that controls explosives.
Perception.
Yeah, so it was like heavy. So it was heavy intelligence, heavy perception, and then I put the rest into like luck, and then everything else was either average or slightly below average.
Almost exclusively in Elder Scrolls. In Fallout, I just try and make a good character. Like, I'm not really... Like, it just depends. But in Elder Scrolls, I usually play battle mages. Like, just because... I don't know. It was harder in Skyrim, I think, because you couldn't do, like, two-handed plus like Magic.
Yeah.
Which kind of was always my like my go-to, but but even then, like even in Skyrim, I would do like two-handed plus restoration.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always liked the magic systems in that, but I kind of always had that like feeling of just like wanting to run up and just.
Yeah, okay.
And in Morrowind, you can just max every skill if you have enough money. So that's just.
For me, I mostly like played Skyrim. Didn't really get into Fallout. Just wasn't my cup of tea exactly. But I would usually go for like shooting a bow and stuff like that. Just being sneaky from a distance.
Okay.
Put a lot into like sneak. Like a lot in Skyrim, after getting through like first couple of missions, I would go off for a good couple of days just hunting, trying to get some adventure on my own. Like you walk across, you turn a corner, and there's just like a giant there, or like a troll, or like just a saber-tooth tiger just jumps out at you from nowhere, and you're like, well, I'm done.
You never forget that first time a giant like hit you in the fucking
Yeah,
stratosphere.
That was the most satisfying. Like, I didn't even care that I died. I was like, yep, this is worth it.
And then when you get the first finisher on them, just like cut the ankle and just slice the base.
That's what I would do. I would mount a horse. Like, I would buy the horse like as soon as I can, mount the horse and just shoot at him.
Oh, that was one of my favorite updates that they ever put in. Was like, and I like that they did it for free. Was the mounted combat in Skyrim. I wish they had like NPCs do it, because I feel like that would add such a level of challenge.
So there's like
Especially in the battles with like
Yeah.
the Stormcloaks and the Imperials,
Yeah,
they
right.
ride up on the horses, the cavalry comes in.
That would be fucking badass.
What about sorry, Tony? What
Oh
was
yeah,
your,
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. So, okay. If I'm doing like a, more like the medieval, kind of with Elder Scrolls style, and this is for most like action RPGs that are like kind of fantasy, I'm always starting as a bruiser. I'm going like just max defense, just a big fucking two-handed sword, a big battle axe, warhammer, all that kind of shit. I just like being like, that's my comfort. And then I start, from there, I usually jump to glass cannons actually. Yeah, that's like usually what I go for. Actually, not for Elder Scrolls. You can't really do. Can you do glass cannons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
not
not
really
really
in
familiar with-
Skyrim.
No.
Okay.
You
I
can
mean, you
can
can
do it
choose
so
not
much.
to invest in health when you level up in Skyrim.
Builds. You could do energy weapons. You could do
Yeah.
explosives. I fucking love the just was it the unique weapons? Like
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
lucky that gun. Just all those fucking sick. Just
Luck is so fun in Fallout. We should get a D&D campaign going with
Oh,
like all
that'd
these
be
different
fun.
play styles like
Yeah,
coming together.
yeah.
That'd be really fun, I think. We could do it on air too.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
fun.
that'd be
Wow.
awesome.
Those are
That'd be
always
cool,
fun.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Critical Role's a
That'd be
great fucking
that'd
show.
be pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Our one viewer right now, I think. Oh, 4. We moved
Oh.
on. Okay.
Our whole viewers.
Oh, 4.
Oh shit!
Have I
I know
closed
what's
mine?
going
Oh,
on
no.
here. We have the wrong title.
Uh-oh.
Talkin' Smacc.
Wait, what was the original title?
It was
Fallout 2?
This was an old. I was doing a stream right after my building flooded, called Fallout 2 Homeless at the Library stream, where I was just streaming Fallout 2, and I said like every penny counts. Like I put my PayPal in the description.
Basically living a college student
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, I was homeless at the time. I didn't have a place to live. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really. I could stay with people, but I just said I was homeless to try and get that PayPal money. Okay, so
People
hopefully,
like, how can you afford to?
Library play games.
Yeah.
This entire set.
Shouldn't you be getting a job or like trying to find somewhere to live?
yeah.
Contacting your parents, maybe.
Follow the library. Priorities. That's the way.
It's up there, so you can watch it. I couldn't get the game to work though. Like it wasn't working with OBS. It just kept crashing.
So you're
Yeah,
just
OBS
sitting there with
sometimes
broken
can-
Fallout asking
Yeah.
for money.
No home, no game, no nothing.
Just you.
I have nothing to offer to get people to give me money. No entertainment. I didn't have the mic on because I was at the fucking library. It's a pretty good stream, pretty solid.
But as far as the D&D thing, I'd totally be down to like Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
Yo.
I mean,
Oh, that'd be
because
cool.
that
You're a good
setting that we
writer,
have, we
too.
can like just start over and just have it
Yeah.
like just completely.
Oh, and I
new
made that
character
map for
characters.
the game.
Yeah,
we could use that.
Use that. So yeah,
Oh, wait, you have one already?
Yeah, it was like the big map that I showed you, that one, Magnolia.
I've still got his DM guide if you want that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I totally...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not.
I'd totally be down, like, on, like, a Saturday, because I know Sundays we have it, but, like, Saturdays, we could come either to, like, we could rent out a room here, go play at my place. Yeah. I'd have to write down the storylines, but, like, I would just pull really heavily from anime if it just
Yeah, okay.
Because I already have to...
on Bethesda-inspired D&D campaign, whether it's, like, through the Elder Scrolls route.
Oh, I'm down.
I'd like to do, like, a Morrowind type one, dude.
Oh, I would need to...
Or Shivering Isles.
Yeah.
I would need to just play Morrowind.
There's gotta be so much fucking homebrew stuff like that.
Oh
yeah.
Finder, something like
Most
that.
of it is just, like, you can Google online, like, on Reddit, they'll be like, oh, here's this character from this game.
Oh, shit, okay.
That's what, whenever last year we were playing, that's what Chavo wanted to do, was The Witcher. He wanted to play that character.
He was going to be...
Because of the character that I built, he was like, oh, that sounds exactly like him. Here, let me do it too.
He was like a human blood hunter, right?
Yeah, mine was...
And he even found something for the mutagens, right?
Yeah, like, that's what I focused on.
We just had like a bunch of medieval. We had like Geralt and fucking Bethesda game characters, and then we just have
we
some
should have like
Fallout
one
guy.
from we should have like one from like all sorts of different games,
Yeah.
and seeing which one would be the best based on how we play.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty. I mean, yeah, I'd totally be down for that.
I'm down, man.
Do you want also the airship rules that I?
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, would I have airships in my? Fuck it, yeah. I'd probably have airships in there. Like,
good luck having me on an airship.
Oh fuck! Oh my god! I still remember that whole airship scene, bro. Yeah, like
Did he kill all of you or something?
No, it was.
I could.
He could have, because he's the main reason why I want to play Rogue in the one that we're playing. Like I'm playing half Rogue, half Bloodsinger.
Specialized.
Yeah, Rogues are that sneak attack. Oh boy, if you just want to down somebody,
especially at later like games, you literally pretty much your sword basically makes a black hole that sucks in whoever you attack. If you're lucky enough with it.
Yeah,
that's insane.
High level D&D is so crazy. Dude.
I've never gotten there. I've gotten like an hour in every time, and then I restart the next time. I've never played I've never actually got into the game, and it sucks because I know I would love it because I fucking love RPGs. I play RPGs all day. I play fucking old ass games, and I love them like Fallout 2 and shit. I'm about to play Daggerfall for the first time.
Fuck yeah.
Like I want to play D&D so badly, but I just never had like a reliable DM or anything.
I mean, like I said, on Saturday.
Add you to the group chat.
Yeah, on Saturdays, because we actually do need to put that shit on a schedule. Because I mean, I'd totally be down to DM on Saturdays, like at around. It's not Saturday, it's fucking Friday. I'd totally be down at like 12 or 1 o'clock or whatever. I'll come up with some storylines tonight if you guys want me to, and then we can, you guys can work on a character. I'd say if we're doing it, everybody start at level 2, just because I don't want y'all to be at level 1.
Yeah, level 1
0.
But no,
I kind of messed up with that.
But if you're using a homebrew class, just like run it by me first. If you're using a homebrew class, run it by me first, because like we saw with with Madonna's homebrew class with that like transform into a werewolf thing, that shit was broken.
Oh yeah.
It was like level. We were like level 2, and he had like 50 something health going into his werewolf form.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, everyone else's was like 12 health. Maybe 15 was like the highest, and then it's like 56 fucking werewolf, just like
busting. I'm just like, holy shit! That's why he changed characters.
If I played, I would have to have someone help me make my character.
No, that's what I felt.
It's a fun process too. Like you dedicate an entire day basically to just setting up these characters, like planning out the
sometimes more than that.
Having a backstory.
Session 0, but. Yeah, the backstory is also a fun process. Just like writing the lore for your character is so fucking cool. Like,
yeah, if you guys want to start writing lore for it, I can if you send it to me before like that Saturday, like on a Friday, I can read through it on Friday and like figure out different shit for you guys, because there's obviously gonna be a session 0. I just don't want to start it at level 1 just because it's like it takes, at least for some classes, it takes a minute to get the ball rolling. Like with rogues. Your class doesn't start to really come online until level 3, when you can pick like what version of a rogue you want to be.
You're pretty much a glass cannon at that point.
Oh yeah. I don't even think you can sneak attack.
Because most likely you're not gonna put enough points into like Constitution. Like you're gonna prioritize into like intelligence and dexterity.
Yeah.
Everything else is gonna be just trash.
Yeah.
You're just gonna try and make it for the late game where you have enough points where you can jump up a tree and then just vanish into thin air.
Yeah, D&D is pretty dope.
Being the DM also balancing it it's kind of fun because I remember like Tony just like when we were doing our sessions last year, there was one time I put like him against the main villain, like the final boss, right? And it was like this tournament thing because like the boss was in disguise. And all of a sudden he just like comes out of the gate with like a rage and like 3 fucking attacks, and it was to half health, right? And he just like fucking kicks the shit out of this guy.
To be fair, my rolls were like we had these cursed die, and these fucking die. There was one game where I probably rolled like 4 critical ones. 7. Oh, 7. It was 7 of them.
That's what we were laughing about.
It was like
The mushroom trip.
one is one is the worst thing that can happen. You'll like be swinging your sword and like eat shit right in front of a fucking ogre, or like you'll be trying to like sweet talk some fucking prince, and then like end up getting like a bunch of guards, and then you all this shit like
Like we got kicked out of that tavern, remember?
Yeah. I mean, all this shit fucking happened, And then all of a sudden I just rolled this like 20s and just really nice fucking rolls. And I was not supposed to beat this guy. I was not set up to beat this fucking guy, but
You still eliminated me whenever I tried to battle you. Like pretty much
Do you know how much I... Oh, sorry, go.
Like whenever I was looking for a cloak at that point. All I needed, I killed the goat. Yeah, it was a saint goat or whatever. I was looking for a cloak to hide myself. Like, oh, can I borrow your cloak? Be fair, my character didn't know you at that time because the whole gender flip thing.
This camera stopped a while ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you press the red button on like the back.
Yeah, but I just come up and I'm like, hey, maybe I can get your cloak, and you're like, gotta have battle for it. It just takes me out in one hand. I'm like, my broken body to the healing tent.
Well, to be fair, okay, 2 things. One, that character was super broken. Well, he like because so there's a dynamic. So I was playing a raging barbarian or something like that. But basically, so every barbarian gets rage, just a big attack boost when you go into it. But then they can also do this other thing called a frenzy, which in normal rules, every time you do that, it's like you get an extra attack every time you attack for like 5 minutes or whatever, and then after that, you get a point of exhaustion, and then after that, it's really hard. Like, you take a lot of damage, all kinds of shit happens, basically, when you go into a frenzy. And so, like, we didn't play the exhaustion rule, and so I just had this, like, very, very overpowered character.
Wait, you played a Berserker and nothing happens when you go out of Berserker form?
There was no penalty, and so, like... It was pretty fucking lit. It was
That makes a lot of sense now.
This was like one of our first few campaigns, so like it was our first campaign actually. Like, most of us first time playing D&D,
including me.
It
I
was the first
DM.
time DM, and half the party was first time players. Like I played 2 or 3 games before that. So
Bro,
like,
please get me in on one of these games. I've been saying this for like months. Please get me in.
Here, I'm adding you to the group chat right now as we speak.
Thank you.
Should we tell them about the mushroom trip episode?
Do it.
I have always wanted to do that.
We didn't actually.
We didn't take mushrooms.
Wait, so we didn't actually take mushrooms.
It was our characters.
But
Your characters.
Tell the backstory
Okay.
before the game. A little bit.
Are you cool?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
Like,
so
I'm proud of it.
We have one viewer. You're
Okay.
good. No matter what it is.
We
Okay,
lost all
okay.
viewers after started talking about D&D.
There were 5 times the number of people in the room as there are viewers.
Hey.
Hey, but shout out to our viewers still on there. We
Yeah.
love you. Mwah.
It's probably me just for having time, honestly. Like, it's possible. I don't really know how YouTube Live works. Anyway, what's
So
up?
now
Now that we all feel like shit.
Okay, this will make you feel better. So we went out to Blund and smoked before the sessions because I told you I did 1 session sober, and that was like our 8-person session because I couldn't keep up with that many people.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of people come in, like Momo used to come in.
Momo? Oh,
Yeah, Momo, he played a blind fucking archer.
That was so.
Was it in the fucking? He had like a bugbear named Pikachu.
Yes.
It was a owlbear.
Owlbear,
Pikachu.
He was supposed to be like my enemy, and he was trying to be my friend and shit. And I was like, "No, you are from the eyeless cult that killed my my father. I am trying to murder you." He was like, "No, we can be friends." I'm just like,
Also, we didn't do any D&D like Forgotten Realms lore. We just created like a whole fucking like
Universe.
lore. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
basically.
It was like 90% like just from our like from Chris's just like insane like world building.
Which props to you, man.
Crazy world
It's
building,
hard.
seriously.
I'll give you that. Props
Yeah.
to you for creating.
Oh no, and Sergi too. Yeah, dude, both of them like were doing crazy shit.
Yeah, and we were roommates at this point.
Yeah,
so
I was
just
helping
bounced
him out a little
shitloads
bit.
of ideas off him, and he gave me a bunch. And he's DMing a different session.
Well, Jimmy lost a finger to that one because he tried to tame a wild crab.
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
that shit. That shit was hilarious.
This shit just goes.
Only time I ever played D&D, I was doing this evil dude, and I usually don't go for evil. I almost always go for good. I like to be a hero, but I was doing this evil dude, and I tried to skull fuck someone, I think.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I rolled a critical one, and I lost my cock, and then I just didn't want to play anymore.
A friend of mine actually, he went for an evil, like basically your character, but evil, like the
Oh,
berserker,
okay. Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
type.
okay.
And he met a witch that he tried to fuck, and apparently her ass was a black hole, so he lost dick that way. But he did go to the dwarves and got a forged dick that gave him extra power. So.
Nice,
On the
nice.
subject of losing dicks, so.
Oh,
shit. Does this
So
happen a lot?
there's a rule in D&D where like if you metagame, so basically if you like
Raid
dramatic
character.
irony, basically
Raid character.
you're getting out of you're doing something that your character doesn't know basically. And I did that 3 times, and every time you do, you have to roll a 20, and like 1 through 20 is each number has its own like punishment. One if you get like
And
a one,
typically they're worse the lower you roll.
yeah,
but
so like
not
one,
always.
You're like your soul sucked into another dimension.
You
2,
die.
you're like butt raped by like fucking
Trolls,
dwarves,
yeah.
like
Or
mountain
gnomes.
trolls.
Yeah,
and
there's
you
like a
lose,
pack of
all
mountain.
your
Yeah.
money. 5 fucking rock comes from the sky, and then 15. Now I rolled 15 3 times. Now the percent, it's like a 14% chance of rolling the same number 3 times. And in 2 different campaign, or like 2 different separate campaigns for one group, and another campaign for the dorm group that we were talking about, I got a 15, and that's the gender swap. So 3 times I turned into a girl, and 3 times I turned into the ass end of every single fucking dick joke, every single fucking girl joke. And it's like, yeah, so
That's-
can I roll the rate Tony? What's the roll for that? Hey,
Oh my God.
Can I
Miguel.
charm Tony? Can
Oh,
I,
fuck.
or, you know, whatever the fucking characters, you know, every time I had to like do some such stupid like bullshit with that.
I made sure I didn't do any of that because I knew, like, after he took me out in one hit during the battle, I'm like, I am not messing around with that dude. Or the girl, whatever.
The next thing, like, we actually wrote that into the script because there was someone he was meeting with, like, literally, like, he saw the person, like maybe, like, 2 minutes after he rolled the metagame roll. Because he was trying to communicate with the people who he was with. And so it was this Kenku, which is, like, a little raven person. And so he gives him, like, they're just sitting in this, like, underground coffee shop. Yeah, there were coffee shops. We just kind of came up with whatever.
Yeah.
Names came from
We did have a Mexican in that. Chapo wanted
Oh,
to be
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chapo wants to
so
be
we're
a
like-
Mexican.
So
yeah.
Mexico is a part of this?
No,
It's
Uh,
like an alternate. It's like an alternate. Like, was it?
Well, to be fair, you can make it into anything the DM wants.
Yeah.
You can't base it off of the real world.
Yeah, you
That
just
is
really
possible.
want to, yeah.
We played Star Wars, my friends, before.
Oh, that's
Yeah. But so yeah, Chapo wanted to. We asked him like what race he wanted to be, and like I started going through them. And he's like, "Can I just be Mexican?" It's like, "Sure." And then we just sat outside with a pack of cigarettes and came up with this whole long backstory about he like teleported through a portal with like 2 bottles of tequila.
Dude, he was a bar at fucking Barrachas.
Oh, yeah.
What are like the racial bonuses of being Mexican?
He was considered
It was like +1 to charisma, but human.
Well, and he also like started. He had like this like he had the 7 dwarves.
Oh,
basically.
fuck.
Oh yeah, because he had Snow White, and then he had 7 dwarves. That he for those listening at home, I just tapped my nose. See, there's 2 now.
Hell yeah.
Hey, woo!
So, but yeah, so Tony was his character Fuka, or Phuket at this point, or almost Phuket. Yeah, Fuka the Fearless. He was like he was sipping coffee with this this like little raven person, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, you have to do a Constitution check. He does it, he fails it. I'm like, okay, you've been poisoned. But we didn't tell him what the poison was, and then I was like, okay, so you feel like this lightness in your crotch area, and you feel your chest begin to like swell, and then immediately after that, he had to go save his character's father from getting like murdered on a train.
Damn.
And he had this whole badass sequence. And this was like right at the end of the session. He had this whole badass sequence where he rode a griffin onto a train and like landed on where he was like as a woman he was like going to save his father. And he had to go. He killed like fucking like 10 kangaroos or something.
Yeah, something
And
like
the dude
that.
killed like 10 as well.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And he was rolling like a motherfucker because the stats for his dad were like buffed as hell, and he just but and then like his dad looks at me, he's like, wait, who the fuck are you?
And then didn't it just end right after?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
like the end of that
that-
session.
Yeah.
And then we had probably the other, my favorite one to DM was definitely the mushroom trip session.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them about.
Yeah,
that.
I was
That
waiting for this one.
Some of the
Okay.
craziest fucking improv I've ever seen someone do. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
creating
this sounds fun, man.
so many fucking worlds in the matter of like, an hour, dude. Like,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, no, he's got to go into that.
So to give context to this, we were going to do essentially like a haunted forest session. And so they were all in this forest location. And we decided to have a session that day, but about half the party didn't show up, and he got way too high.
Oh, yep. I
And
remember this
To be
night.
fair, you started talking with Jamie. I was like, well, I'm not just gonna sit here with it. I
Yeah,
was just smoking it.
and he just like face planted
Mm-hmm.
on the table.
Mhm.
I was still there.
He was
Yeah,
still
he
conscious.
was very conscious.
I
He
was
just
conscious perfectly. I just could not deal with any emotion whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I was
In and
just
out.
But so he just face planted, right? I was like, well, I want to do something for this session still, but I can't do like really any combat. There's nothing really like because a lot of the players
there were cops outside too.
Oh yeah, there were cops in Teresa
Nice.
that night, and so I was like, I think Choppa just was like foraging for something. And we just started the session. I'm like, okay, you find this glowing purple mushroom, and he's like instantly he puts it in a pipe and smokes it.
Mhm.
And then
Did we do a constitution roll? Because that's
yeah,
determined when we
we
started.
had to do they did a constitution roll, and so he took one and he took one. I
already passed it.
yeah, he was already a little.
You already rolled in that one.
I was in character already.
And basically, we just had this sequence where they were hopping from like dimension to dimension, going through the past and the present and the future.
Yeah,
and all of them were kind of tied to character backstory. So his was about like the day that the blind colt came in, and he was playing a blind dragonborn paladin. And a dragonborn is like a dragon human.
Yeah. Sorry,
No, you're good.
You're good.
He was playing so it was all about like the day that his village got invaded, and I think it was your dad or your mom died.
It was one of the two.
And then he had to like in real time make the decision to go up and sacrifice his eyes, even though that was a part of his backstory.
Oh, okay.
And then because he did that in the thing, he got rewarded with like a piece of a sword that ended up being a ridiculously powerful weapon. Because I don't know how to make stats. And then he had a whole sequence where, and we had music because this wasn't a combat sequence. I had 3 YouTube tabs open, each with a different like music, like kind of. And so his was like really
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
it was Kingdom Hearts, simple and clean piano version.
Yours,
I did a lot of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
So what we were doing with it was like, one of us, I don't remember who, one of us like suggested that it's like we use the music to set like the mood of like our trip basically, and like what we were experiencing. So like we would be queuing up songs while someone else was like doing their thing, and we'd all put our song in, and then we would start it once our character was back in a turn, and then Chris.
Yeah, and so we had like 3 different stories going on at the same time, and we were just kind of watching, or we were just kind of like letting like people were just kind of like paying attention when the other person was going, because and every time someone rolled a 1, they got pulled to a different like thing, and so his dice are fucking cursed. Like actually, he rolls 20s and 1s, and that's it.
Yeah.
And he rolled I think 3 or 4 1s. And his whole plot was about trying to find, because he was a half orc, half dwarf, and his whole plot was about trying to find his dad, who was the orc. and so he like connected to him through like this like psychic link, and then rolled a 1 and lost him, and then had to like experience like his own father's past and like get like a whole storyline of like how he did it until he could find him again. And then Choppa was trying to find out information. I don't actually remember what he was trying to find out.
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to find out information about his past, I think. And
Dad.
yeah. No, this is before that. Because that was like right towards the end of it. We had 3 separate dad plots. We had his, and then Choppa's.
Well, mine was a little bit messed up.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we got 6 people now.
Oh, wow.
Surpassed.
Did we name the stream?
So
I did, yeah.
one thing that Chris is not proud of himself on is like how well he like did like let us like visualize what we were doing. Like
Yeah.
he really like, and the thing is we weren't just like our character being in different worlds. Like we were objects, we were entities, we were whole other
Yeah,
characters.
Choppa was a glass of ale.
Yeah.
At one point.
And piss.
And yeah, he got drank as the ale, and so he became the piss.
Oh.
They got mopped.
Yeah, they got mopped, and then he became. I was just having because he was rolling like 2s and 3s, and so I was just being a dick to him. Like,
Which the DM should.
yeah, you have to be a dick.
Yeah.
It was
But
go on praising me.
he did these, of course, he did these like really great just like visuals. I remember like one of the first ones was like he was just like you're like this gem in the earth, and you hear this like picking sound, and all of a sudden like this wall falls in front of me, and I see like a dwarf, and then all of a sudden he makes me do a roll. And it's like, okay, he's like reaching for this crystal that my character is basically. That's like my perspective. And then all of a sudden I get sucked into another dimension. And then I'm at this like crazy wedding, and I see this this fucking orc there, like with a fucking messed up leg, this like scarred thing. Like it's very heavily implied it's my father. And like I see he's like going through this wedding, and there's all these people there, faces I can recognize. I don't know, everyone has these masks. And it's very bizarre, very lucid feeling. And then it ends with like, and he like lifts up this veil, and then like darkness overcomes, and you wake up in another dimension. And then I'm like a fairy, and I'm like, all of a sudden he's like guiding us towards this like building war that's happening, like that my dad in the game, my father participated in. He was just setting up like all this backstory and context with like insane, like phenomenal, like visuals and like, but he was telling the story through like multiple perspectives, and like every time he was going through every other person's, like it was just like a surprise every other dimension or dream state that they were going through. It was,
For me, I was just myself.
Yeah.
that's true. Yes.
But he woke up like an hour, or didn't wake up, but he came back to consciousness, like in real life, not in game. He came back to consciousness an hour in, like an hour
I wasn't
in.
expecting that.
And so we were like, oh shit, what do we do? And so we
just
just
out of nowhere, so.
we threw him in, and he already had like a pre-existing plot with one of the god characters in this world. Yeah.
Fuck the god, that is true.
Two characters did.
Yeah.
Just got
So
those
mine was
high-ass
the
rolls.
best. Mine was the best, though.
Yeah, it was like, who's the Joker now, bitch? And then you rolled it, and it was a 19. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a 19, and but he was like, I need the most. He went over and bought the most expensive drink in the bar, and this is before I knew what he was planning to do. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's this little luck potion that just gives you +1 to whatever roll you want, like one roll. And so he, you want to tell it?
Yeah, so basically what happened, I drank a shot, and then I basically had a pet that was like a demon that could shapeshift and like build like connection between you telepathically. So I gave it to him because he was blind. His character was blind, and he was just walking around like bragging about it, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the guy, you're like, hey, you like my pet, stuff like that, and I just like walk over there. My character originally had wings, but I lost them, so I went over to him and I pretty much took away the pet, and so he lost vision. And I made a deal with him, like we had like a substance like Quicksilver basically that could heal the wound. So I was like thinking like, oh, what if I basically not trade but like make a deal? He can steal my pet, and I get the Quicksilver. So he gives me the Quicksilver.
Which could have gotten him his eyes back, just
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm sitting there like just.
and I knew that too, so I was trying to make sure I don't tell him that it heals anything, just so I can get my wings back. Demon Yes. It was a nice character. Bit of an asshole sometimes, but... So yeah, we traded and I get my wings back, and I think one of you dropped a die, and while the goddess was coming up to me, and I pick it up, and to be fair, it was half jokingly, half like on purpose. I threw the roll, and I was like, who's the trickster now? After getting my wings back, like silver wings, all of that, and it lands on the 19, but because of the shot, it goes to a 20, which is a critical success, basically.
Yeah.
And I get to sleep with a god with my mask on.
Yeah.
That had like orc skin on it.
Yeah, it was like a rotting,
Ugly,
like
yeah.
nasty black mask. It was like I guess she's in I don't know.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
Decay fetish.
That was a highlight. That one and like you were fighting one of the ogres or whatever, and like you rolled a nat 20 on like a javelin throw or something like that.
Oh,
and one
shit.
where the orc
the
was
first
running
battle.
away or something like that, and
Oh, it
he
was
like
the orc
goes
battle.
and chucks a fucking
That
spear.
was session 1, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Session two.
But he throws it and it hits the fucking orc as he's running away in the back of the head, impales his head, and he fucking just collapses over and dies.
Well, it started out with him doing a backflip off a roof.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah,
critical
that's right.
Oh my god.
That's
nat
right.
20.
Yeah.
And I got like a nat 20 roll when I killed 2 orcs with a door.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I ran in the building because I
Nice.
was being chased, closed the door behind me. The 2 orcs came up, started knocking, trying to get in. So I was like, well, I'm just locked in here, so I might as well try to do something. So I rolled a nat 20, bashing into a door. So what happened is the door swung open, smashing the 2 orcs against the wall.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I remember it was going really well, and then Choppa had one of his dwarfs was named Dopey, and all the dwarves were based off of like a drug. So
Oh,
like
okay.
Dopey was like the pothead.
Cool.
And he died.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
very first battle.
Like
too.
Yeah.
he died really like shittily just because I had to roll for him, and I was the only one who rolled poorly in this entire fucking battle. But
No, I think Mr. rolled like nat 1 when he was trying to get the arrows.
No,
Oh, it was
Dopey.
me.
It was
I
Dopey.
was trying to throw him like some arrows as a dwarf, and I rolled a nat 1, and all the arrows fell down. So then this dwarf is just sitting on top of this building while like people are trying to kill him, with no weapons, and he just died. Like there's just nothing I could do. His stats weren't that high.
At least he had 7.
And yeah, and then he made it his like quest to try and resurrect this dwarf. And I remember like after the battle, he just had this like really like I was like, okay, so there's 3 prisoners left. You guys can do whatever you want. They killed all 3 of them.
Jeez.
Just like, and Choppa's was brutal. Like I
I took
think.
no part in it.
Did I kill someone?
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, you cut someone's head off.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds
Tony.
I think I took one of them.
Come on, bro.
I
faces
have
from
a
the
thing
mask.
against orcs.
I think you did
Linwood
too.
killed one, you killed one, and then
Understandable.
Choppa killed one. I gave them to the people who wanted to kill orcs.
Yeah.
Who's
oh,
like,
yeah.
because at this point, Choppa wanted to kill orcs. But before, it was him and Linwood both like said at the beginning, we want to kill orcs.
Yeah.
So I make dreams come true.
Sweet. Well,
I just took the faces of dead orcs and added it to my mask.
I have a question, guys. Do you
Okay.
think we should have callers? There's already 5 people, so callers would make it like 6.
Okay.
But I'm down. Do you
Yeah,
guys?
I'm down.
I
Okay,
need a
cool.
beverage, so while I'm gone, call that boy up.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we're accepting callers. Call me on Discord. It'll probably take a while. I don't know. It's just a possibility. No one may call. Someone may call.
Who knows? Yeah, man, I fucking love D&D. Like freaking, so I play every Sunday at 1 o'clock. We're changing it to 2, and I'm playing like a fucking basically a genderless like air person who is like she's it because it's not a man or a woman. It's like half rogue, half wizard, and like its whole backstory is that it's trying to like gain information on like as many magical beings as possible. And there was one fight that that everybody was having, and instead of actually like fighting the enemies like I was supposed to, I instead levitated to the very top of the ceiling so I couldn't get hit. And then I just whipped out my like notebook and just started writing down like the magical creatures while I think it was it was my friend Hunter's character was like getting killed like directly below me, but I just didn't care because I was too busy writing on my fucking notes, and he got pissed off. Like his character got pissed off in game and was contemplating killing me. Like D&D is just really fun. It's like Skyrim or Oblivion or whatever, but just more open ended.
And you play with other people.
Yeah.
And like
Without making a multiplayer broken.
yeah.
Fuck Fallout 76.
Without ruining your series.
Yeah.
That big circle.
Yeah, fuck Fallout 76. It's such a bullshit game. I swear to God.
Oh, we have a caller?
No, I'm gonna call this guy up because I know he would call in, but he's in the middle of playing Rising Storm Red Orchestra, so I'll probably answer that. But you played Morrowind, Chris?
Yeah.
You know what's just, my favorite thing about Morrowind is the magic system where you can make your own spells.
Yeah.
And then it just got like increasingly worse throughout the Elder Scrolls franchise. Like Skyrim's magic is so fucking dumb with the hands and shit.
I never used it.
Making spells in Oblivion was fucking ridiculous.
I never even got that far.
You either had to have a DLC or get to be a part of the Mages Guild, which is kind of annoying. But once you did that, you could just it was just limitless, and you could make huge area of effect spells. Just like I remember we used to call them like Wall of Frost.
So you could be like a god, basically.
Yeah, and you could make like self-protect spells that were just so ridiculously overpowered. Like where like you'd have to imagine like you get hit with an arrow and you would see like this little tiny sliver disappear from your health.
Damn.
And like I remember like also the like touch spells costed next to no magic. And so if you were playing a battle mage, you could just walk up to someone, and like the way the magic cost worked is like the higher the damage, the increased magic cost.
Yeah.
If it was target, the magic was higher cost.
Yeah, it's like Morrowind.
Yeah, it was like length of effect.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Duration. Yeah.
But if you put it like low duration, on touch, super high damage, you could just walk up to someone and just go, boop, and they just fly up into the air, and just like they just be dead and they go.
All right, we have our caller.
Okay.
Stanky Cats, hello, are you there?
Hey,
What's going
I'm
on?
here.
This is a
Great
favorite
podcast,
guest.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Any-
This is
I guess the first thing on my agenda here that I have to say is fuck Todd Howard. I hate that little pygmy shit. I want him dead. And I'd like to ask you guys. You guys know that you're in Austin, where you guys are located. Is
Right.
there's a Bethesda Studios there?
There is, yeah. The one that made Fallout 76, actually.
Bastards.
Oh, your friend's
So-
working there? You're not going to like what he's about to say, then.
I'm
Because I already know
completely
what
fine.
he's about to say. Okay, well.
So here's what I'm begging you guys right now. Please, Todd Howard, he's got to visit at some point. Ice that little midget fuck.
Consider him dead.
Yeah, I mean, we
Please.
are in Texas. Gun shows all over the place. We can use the gun show
It was a
loophole.
straight accident,
yeah.
It happens, it's
That's how we
a-
shot him 10 times. It was
It
an
wouldn't be
accident.
hard.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not
23
saying you
stab
should
wounds,
do it.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it'd be
He's
easy.
gonna be cherry picking.
Oh yeah.
Cherry picking.
You look a little uncomfortable, Chris.
Huh?
You uncomfortable with murdering the innocent?
No, just Todd Howard.
You don't want to murder Todd Howard?
I don't
You're a
want-
fan of Todd Howard?
I mean, I
Can
don't
you even
really
consider him human?
Huh?
I can't consider.
I think
him
he's
human.
more of a wood elf, to be honest. But
Son,
Fine.
Daisy is fucking evil.
Is it racist to kill a wood elf?
No.
I mean, if you
So long
only
as it's
kill
not
wood
an
elves,
animal.
Yeah. If you just only
As
target
long as
what
it's
else?
not
likes
racist,
elves, let's be
I'm
honest.
fine with making a pipe bomb and blowing up Bethesda games.
Or better yet,
Hello,
you could just take a
Hello,
gun
YouTube.
and shoot Todd Howard in the kneecaps. Just shoot him 7 times in both kneecaps.
Is that FBA?
We gotta think of
Crazy
something
shit.
creative. We play Fallout. We play Bethesda games. What's the fucking weirdest way to kill a fucking
Autoerotic asphyxiation. We should find a way to make it look like a
So
I can't
what
say the
what
word.
character did you kill with that in Fallout?
No, I haven't. And I don't know. That's not an option. I wish it was. That'd actually be pretty fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
putting that in VATS would be a hard thing to do, you know.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it
you
out.
could do it like one of the Dark Brotherhood missions. Like where you
Just
like
get a belt.
unscrew.
Yeah.
Like there's like one I remember that you did where like you unscrew like a like
Deer head?
Yeah, it was a deer head and just drop it onto someone sleeping into a chair. I feel like he would be okay with that because I know he likes
As long as we put the Brotherhood symbol like right by the foot of his bed or some shit like that.
the black hands.
Yeah,
Honestly, that would be the way to go. Holy shit.
that would make the news.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
We know.
We know.
So is this the same caller with the roommate problem?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not a problem. It's the opposite.
Yes.
It's resolved.
It's resolved.
It's resolved.
I have a multiplayer Morrowind save with Tony and this guy. So yeah,
Yeah,
Multiplayer Morrowind. That shit's crazy.
that shit is really fun.
shit is fucking awesome.
It's so much better than Fallout 76. And it's like a game from
None of us have played
2002.
it,
And it's made by fucking modders.
Did you hear they're doing like a what's it called, like a redo of like a Morrowind and Oblivion on the Skyrim engine?
Yeah.
Those have been going for a while. I'm more excited for Tamriel Rebuilt, which is they've been working on it since 2002, where they're trying to make all of Tamriel within the Morrowind engine.
Oh.
Within the Morrowind engine?
Yeah, and so far all they've done, because they've been working on it since Morrowind, and so far they made, so the game Morrowind takes place in like one third of the entire province of Morrowind.
Yeah.
So far they made all of Morrowind within the game.
What?
Yeah.
So can you actually like, because I know you go to Mournhold in one of the DLCs, can you actually like walk in there?
I have no idea. I never tried it.
I should get that.
Dude, shout out to the modding community.
Yeah,
I would
for
think
for
keeping
making these
Bethesda around.
incomplete fucking games playable.
Yeah.
Also, that camera shut off again.
God damn it.
You guys want to wrap this up soon?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
been
yeah.
like a good 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down.
Is there any final shit you guys want to plug? Anything?
Well,
I also have to pee. That's
I have to take a mad shit.
okay.
I mean, the only plug I have is that your boy is a SoundCloud rapper. I don't know. I'm working on a mixtape, so there's that. When I eventually finish it, because I'm already one song down, I will plug it on the podcast whenever we meet again.
Cool. And he does not have a custom URL yet. I don't know why. You should get one, Jason. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any requirements because your name is like user 178 billion something.
Yeah.
But for now, you can go to soundcloud.com/5-STACCS 5 stacks, and you can find Jason's only song so far, which is with me. And there will be a link to his profile there, and go follow him. Even though he has no songs on there.
Crazy
because
up
he
and
will
comer,
soon.
crazy producer.
Crazy.
They're a power combo. Check that
I'm
shit
not a
out.
producer, but I appreciate the compliment.
His friend, though, is a power producer.
Yeah, he is a good
I want to
producer.
rap on one of his beats eventually.
Following Jay's on SoundCloud before he makes any songs is like investing in the big stock while it's on the down. Like, trust me, guys, you're gonna want to invest right
There's
away.
only one way to go, and that's up.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what my
So,
mom's doing.
so.
So,
So,
all right, Chris, what are you plugging today?
I've got nothing really. I don't know. Google me.
Google. Okay, cool. 30.
Please don't Google me, but I might start like making videos again, like gaming videos. So
Oh yeah.
maybe a later podcast. I'll,
Yeah, fuck it.
people want
I
to
hope
watch
you
that.
do, man. Tony.
Toppers up.
And Bethesda Game Studios does have a studio in Austin, and you can Google how to make a pipe bomb. Thank you very much. And now I gotta hit stop stream.